Peggy 18.
This day of set upon a mighty endeavor. Souls will be shaken with the violences of war. In this hour of great sacrifice, we shall prevail.
Get your head down and keep moving!
We are all that separates the world from darkness. The enemy is ruthless. We cannot, we must not fail.
Duty first.
Perez! Bumpy enough for you?
How many casualties? We executed the mission.
Get me the fuck out of here.
How many? We had orders!
Get to cover!
Lieutenant, tell them what we're all about.
No mission too difficult. No sacrifice too great.
Welcome to the Bloody First. You're a long way from Texas, farm boy.
You just saw the world premiere of the reveal trailer for Call of Duty World War II, and we're just getting started. We're streaming to you live from the middle of London, but today is all about you, our fans all over the world. This game is the game that you've been waiting to see, and believe me when I say it's the game that we've been waiting to show you. Call of Duty has the most passionate fans anywhere, and throughout this live stream, we're going to be answering the questions that you've sent to us from all over the world over the last few days. When we greenlit this game 3 years ago now, we knew it was time for us to go back to our roots, back to the gritty, authentic, visceral military experience that Call of Duty was built on. This game delivers all that, and it also strives to capture the intense bonds of brotherhood that came from common everyday people who rose above the most epic in human history. Sledgehammer deliver the cinematic scale and the relentless attention to detail that this conflict deserves and demands. Their passion and creativity has been inspiring to me from day one. Call of Duty World War II does more than just go back to boots on the ground. It also delivers a gripping, immersive story and a darker, reverent tone, which captures both the epic scale and the human struggle of this incredible conflict. Like so many people all over the world, many of us, myself included, have a personal connection to this conflict through family members who fought in this war. This story belongs to the entire world. This game truly recaptures that first Call of Duty value that no one fights alone. Call of Duty World War II also features a multiplayer game that brings back the intense, visceral, boots-on-the-ground gameplay our fans love, along with some great new innovations that push the game forward. And if you can't wait until November to play it, well, good news, you don't have to. I'm excited to announce right here, right now, that later this year, we'll be hosting a private multiplayer beta. This is just the beginning of a journey that we'll be taking with you all year. You're going to be hearing more from us more often with more information than ever as we reveal all the details we've got in store for you with Call of Duty World War II. And that starts right now. We've got a great lineup here today, ready to answer the questions that you've sent to us. In a few minutes, I'll be bringing up Michael and Glenn from the studio, as well as a few members of our cast. As you'll see, the team at Sledgehammer has poured their heart and soul into this game. No battle was too big, no detail was too small. From the painstaking historical research, to visiting each and every one of the game's real-life locations, to sweating the audio and visual details that get the era just right. The goal was to create the most immersive World War II universe ever. We wanted our long-standing fans to experience World War II like never before, and to introduce this historic conflict to a whole new generation of players along the way. So let's get right to it. Here's a behind-the-scenes look at the creative process at the studio and a deeper look at what's coming in store with Call of Duty World War II.
The Second World War goes beyond all boundaries in every category. We see more nations involved in a single conflict. We see casualties higher than ever before. Just a generation before, at the end of the First World War, the Great War, they didn't call it World War II. Like this would ever happen again. And a generation later, something happens that's even bigger and even worse in so many ways.
We have the honor of making this year's Call of Duty called World War II.
Our chance to tell the epic, gritty, visceral story of the world's greatest conflict.
There is a genuine interest in producing a product that is historically authentic.
Every part of this game has been researched and nuanced and studied and scanned and photographed. We really tried to get the respect and the details right of the game.
This is about ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
The brotherhood, the camaraderie, the guy next to me. That became the theme for our game.
On a personal level, honoring the story was crucial for us, and it was something we really committed to.
Our story weaves in and out of real historical events. We've gone to great pains to create those authentic battles. One of the biggest things we wanted to get across was a sense of camaraderie.
The people you serve side by side with, you develop bonds with those people.
Hopefully players will walk away from this story feeling like they really know these guys.
Welcome to the Bloody First.
And they care about them.
Art influences the game in a huge way. The lighting and the tonality and the colors. We want to be able to have the player feel something.
By creating a very believable environment, it allows the player to slip into this world.
The vision for the art direction we call dark and beautiful. It was emotionally dark, visually beautiful. More than just being cool and pretty, it's about trying to get people to have a deeper emotional reaction to the game.
Our modeling department is amazing. The weapons, vehicles, the tanks, even the cars you might see on a city street. The level of detail is just phenomenal.
It's a huge endeavor, but we have to stay true to the source material. We have to research and watch a lot of film, a lot of archive footage to see how combatants in World War II would behave. Sometimes the hardest things are the biggest payoffs. The combination of the model, the animation, and the audio creates that punchiness to the weapon.
We record everything. Every location we record in for the game. The ambiences, the music, the dialogue, everything has to be created from scratch. We had a real opportunity here to do a level of authenticity and reality, true to the war, true to the soldiers who fought in that war. We had this great opportunity with Marty Morgan, our military advisor. We spent a lot of time on a gun range with all of the authentic World War II weaponry.
It's critical to understand the absolute violence of the Second World War. It's critical to understand how weapons and firepower function.
This is a story that's bigger than all of us. This is a whole new generation who might not have a lot of experience with this time period. I think this is a great opportunity to have them experience that and feel that.
We've made something pretty incredible, and I'm very proud of it.
It's perhaps the greatest compliment I've been paid in my career to work on this project.
This is the most powerful game I've ever worked on. It's very personal, it's very humbling.
You know, I've been making games for over 26 years. And I'll tell you, it's the best game we ever made.
And that is how you do a global reveal, because that's what it was, the global reveal of the new Call of Duty game, going back to World War II. I'm OJ Borgia at the BFI in London, the IMAX screen, the biggest screen in the United Kingdom, which seems a fitting place to have a game of such cinematic scope. Now, watching that trailer for the first time, like you, I was so hyped watching it, and I would be hyped if it was any Call of Duty game. But the fact that Call of Duty is going back to its roots, I mean, I need to just calm down just slightly, because I'm overhyped right now. But between the trailer and the video that we just saw, I am dying to know more about this game, as I'm sure you are. That's why you've tuned into this live stream. So who do we talk to? Well, we talk to the people who made the game. That is Glenn and Michael from Sledgehammer Games. We're here right now. How excited are you guys right now?
Dude, after 2.5 years of sitting quiet, this is an incredible moment, so thanks.
It is just an exciting moment. Now, my heart's still racing. The audience picks up on that.
Thank you.
It was A great trailer. My heart's still racing from it. It was gritty. We talked about the art direction in that documentary, which was dark and emotional. Do you know, it felt like what I would guess it would be like to be in World War II. Can you tell us a bit more then about the detail and the research that went into making this new Call of Duty?
Yeah, getting World War II right is incredibly important to us. Many of us have family members that have been touched by the war, and paying attention to every detail is our way of honoring them. We spent 2.5 years researching, studying, taking thousands of photos, watching documentaries, and meeting with World War II veterans. We visited museums, driven vehicles, fired weapons, and used photogrammetry techniques to capture even the tiniest details.
Yeah, that's right. Look, we've gone to great lengths to follow in the footsteps of the soldiers of World War II. In addition to Normandy, we literally traveled the routes of the 1st Infantry Division and other Allied units, from the English Channel to the hedgerows of northern France, through Luxembourg and Belgium and past the old city of Aachen, frankly, all the way to the Rhine. And it was great. We dug deep into the historical battle locations where many of the soldiers fought and sacrificed.
You talk about history, you talk about the accuracy. Am I right in thinking you had a historian working on this? In fact, we saw him, didn't we? In that mini-doc.
Yeah, we certainly did. Marty Morgan, amazing. He's renowned World War II historian and author. He's been a huge part of the team. He's worked with us for the last 2 years, and he's frankly devoted his life to capturing the stories of soldiers on the front line. And so with him as a cornerstone of our research, and a tremendous sort of asset to the team, he's really helped us capture the essence of war for fans.
Now, we only learned about this a couple of days ago. You'll have been sitting on this, I think Glenn said, for 2.5 years. Since the reveal, how are you feeling right now? What have those days been like?
Oh my goodness, it has been really amazing. Unbelievable, frankly. And yeah, the reaction's been really positive and warming, and really to all the hardworking developers at Sledgehammer Games back home and to everybody at Activision, it's really been great. And for Glenn and I, it's really humbling to have, the opportunity to tell this incredible story of heroism, to honor the men and women who've sacrificed to bring around victory, and what really is history's greatest conflict.
And the team back in Foster City is watching the stream right now, and a shout out to all of you, and thanks for your hard work.
Because I'm guessing it has been 2.5 years of hard work. Really hard work. Now, we've got tons to discuss, more questions that are coming in from you. You can get in touch with us on our social channels. And they say that no man fights alone, no man presents alone either, because alongside me is a YouTuber. I call him the Crown Prince of Zombies. That is Mr. Dalek JD, who I know is super hyped right now.
That is correct, OJ, and that introduction was beautiful, and I'm just so happy to be here, and he's exactly right. Since Friday, we've been taking in your questions about the game via Twitter, and the response has just been phenomenal, and there is still time to get your questions in if you haven't already. All you'll need to do is make sure that you tweet at Call of Duty, making sure you use that hashtag COD World War II. Now, we already have some tweets to kick off the show. We have at Cal's Tweetings, who says, "I'm so excited, I can't believe it. COD is going back to its roots."
See, there you go. That's what a lot of tweets are saying, that Call of Duty going back to its roots. But this is all about gameplay as well. How does it, going back to its root, translate to gameplay?
Yeah, Call of Duty World War II returns to that grounded, fast action gameplay that the franchise was built on. And for us, the core Call of Duty experience, like the conflict of World War II, really puts an emphasis now on rewarding gun skill and strategy. And with an all-new boots-on-the-ground experience that immerses players in the intense combat of World War II like never before, we're bringing some great new innovations too, things that were designed to elevate the player experience, things we want to touch about, but we're going to save for a little bit later in the show.
We are indeed saving it for a little bit later on. Make sure you stay tuned to this live stream. There's lots of things coming up. But Dalek, how do you feel about that?
I'm extremely excited by the fact that it's been nearly 10 years since Call of Duty has been in the World War II era, and that in itself is just extremely exciting. And judging by you guys over on Twitter, it seems I'm not the only one. Loads of fans are expressing their excitement around the fact of us being able to experience World War II era weaponry. Fans like Games412412 who tweets in saying, "What kind of weapons will we be seeing in Call of Duty World War II?"
Well, the team worked to bring a wide variety of weapons, from both the Allied and Axis forces to life. And for us, authenticity was key. So from the iconic ping of the empty M1 Garand to the power of the first assault rifle, the STG-44, these guns have a real weight to them that is really visceral. And it really, for me, brings me back to my fondest memories of playing Call of Duty with the fidelity now and the brilliance of what's only possible in the latest generation of gaming hardware. No automatic weapons symbolize brutality of World War II more than the belt-fed MG42, which you'll see. Terrifyingly powerful weapon. There's the bolt action rifles of World War II and the singular damage that they could inflict in combat, like the M1903. And equipped with scopes or iron sights, these weapons were frankly pretty precise. And of course, Glenn here with his 45 caliber grease gun, running around in spray and pray mode, you know.
Let's not start.
That just scratches the surface, frankly.
The king of spray and pray, eh? So Glenn, what did you enjoy most then about making a World War II game with the current hardware?
Yeah, good question. I really love the detail we can bring to the game nowadays. The way the soldiers walked and talked, the music of the era, the different locations we researched as the big set pieces for iconic battles. In Normandy specifically, it's the emotions created by combining elements like the sound of the 50 caliber rounds hitting the front of the boat, the vehicles crashing into the shore, and taking cover behind the hedgehogs. In each case, we're targeting the most realistic gaming experience possible.
And that's what it's about, isn't it? That realistic experience, that visceral sound that goes on as well. Dalek, what else is the community wanting to know?
Well, Borg, we have a tweet in from It's Enigma for the Win, who wants to know what locations are we going to be fighting in?
Well, the game takes place entirely in the European theater, primarily between 1944 and 1945. And as you saw in the reveal trailer, players will storm the beaches of Normandy.
Very much. And it's great to have the cast in as well, because one of the great things about Call of Duty has been that it's been great storytelling that goes on right now. Josh, I know you've had a huge amount of passion from this game since day one, being part of it. What excited you?
Well, when I first heard about it, I sat with Glenn and
We came in, let's have another look at that trailer.
Souls will be the violences of war. In this hour of great sacrifice, we shall prevail.
Get your head down and move it!
much. Guys, I mean, this is little, and normally I would be a little disappointed, but how can I be when, I mean, that just looks incredible. I would ask for more, but I'm probably going to get a no, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
At least I tried.
That is a Nazi zombie on the biggest cinema screen in the United Kingdom. And I think that is a fabulous way to end this first look at the Call of Duty World War II. Than that, it has been an absolute ton of fun. To have you guys here as well.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure. You know, our hearts are full being able to share with fans. And we hope fans are just as excited about Call of Duty World War II as we are to make it. Without a doubt, it really is the most personal and powerful game I've ever worked on. And I know for all the developers of the Sledgehammer games when I say holding nothing back for November.
Yeah, and you know, our thanks again for the support. This game is for you, and I'm sure Michael would agree. We've talked about this before, that this is the best game we've ever made.
Best game.
The best
game. There you go. So thank you to Glenn and to Michael from Sledgehammer Games for being your iCal. Tattoo it to the inside of your eyelids. November the 3rd, that is when this new Call of Duty, going back to its root, is coming. Trailer.
Mighty endeavor. So, with the advantages of war, in this hour of great sacrifice, we shall prevail.
Get your head down and keep moving!
We are all that separates the world from darkness. The enemy is ruthless. We cannot. We must not fail.
Duty first. Hey, Perez! Won't be enough for you! How many casualties? We have mission. How many?
Lieutenant, tell them what we're all about.
No mission too difficult. No suffice.
You're a long way from Texas, farm boy.
Pre-order now and get access to the private beta.
Moving from kind of understanding some of the D-Day landing